Okay, we're ready to go and we're ready to record.
All right. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining the session, Ride the Wakelet. You have two presenters, Linda McBride and Jody Angelone. Jody is over 28 years that I read that and is currently the staff training and development coordinator for the Ohio PDN. And Linda McBride is with Warren County Aspire, right?
Yep. With starting 21 years.
Okay, wow. So yeah, with no further ado, we'll go ahead and turn it over to you two.
All right, thanks, Jessica. So Linda and I are going to tag team here on this presentation, and so we're going to give you first a general overview of Wakelet and its general functions, and then we're going to leave the PowerPoint and we're going to take you live to that session so that you can experience those tools and have some opportunity to look at it yourself and what all you can do with Wakelet. Okay, so welcome again, everyone, and I'm Jody, and you can see Linda there on your screen, hopefully. We're going to start with this short slide deck, and again, introduce the session, or Wakelet, the platform, and then we'll go to our collections, and we'll show you how we're using this platform to organize, share, and collaborate with both colleagues and students. So Wakelet can be used for these four easy functions, or these four functions. We're going to help you to understand how you can use it to bookmark items, to organize your resources, to collaborate with colleagues and students, and to share work. So now we'd like to hear from you quickly before we move on to talk about these first couple areas. How do you bookmark and organize your online resources currently? And so please share that information in the chat. How are you currently bookmarking and organizing your online resources? Okay, Lori has bookmarked folders on Chrome, so within the browser. So Andrea is similar because she clicks the star, so she's bookmarking within a Google Drive, okay, and the browser. Google Docs for resources. Okay, Lori has some pinned. Keeping them permanently on tabs. Laura folders in Google Docs and on desktop. Chrome bookmark, good. So it looks like a lot of individuals are doing, are bookmarking very similarly to the way that I did, so you have your favorite browser, whether that's Firefox or Chrome or Edge. So you're bookmarking within those browsers. And you're sharing a lot of those things on your Google Spaces, it looks like, too, or in your classroom, online classroom. So good. So one thing that I really love about Wakelet is the bookmark feature, and it's something that I use all the time. So when I have my browser open, which is pretty much 24/7, I usually have my Wakelet open also. But what I also love is that I have my app on my phone, so Wakelet is with me wherever I go. And so anytime that I come across a website or a link or somebody shares one with me, I have the opportunity to just quickly save that bookmark into my Wakelet. And so the advantage to this versus my browser is that when you leave your computer or you leave that device or you leave that browser, you don't have that bookmark. And so if you've ever used somebody else's computer, or you've been on the go, or you've had your browser crash and you have to reset it, and all of a sudden, or you get a new computer, all of a sudden all those bookmarks are gone, or you have to redo those. And so the one advantage that I love about Wakelet is that I have everything. And in a moment, I can just quickly add my bookmarks to Wakelet, and then I can go back later. And as Linda and I show you when we get to the platform, then I can take those bookmarks if I want, and I can add them quickly into my collections, which allows me to categorize and organize them in the areas for which I need them. So there's a lot of ways that you can bookmark. And so like I said, one of the great features with your cell phone is that if you even have a tweet or some social media piece, you can quickly save that and bookmark that into Wakelet, and then it's there and you don't have to worry about remembering or if I can go back and find that. So that's, you can do that for social media posts, for pictures, for documents, for links across the web. So it allows you to really bookmark from many different areas in many different ways. So in terms of organizing, Wakelet, you can organize your bookmarks and your resources into what they call the collections. Additionally, Wakelet has added topic headings and spaces. And so when we go there, we're going to show you about some of those topic headings and spaces that you can use that help you in organizing your collections. You can add, as you create your collections, you can reorder your content, you can change how you view your content, you can add text descriptions and images to your collections to give them some context. Your collections can contain text narratives, pictures, videos, PDF documents, links to other resources, links to other accounts like your Google Classroom or your Google Drive. And it also can be really great for creating portfolios, both individual and personal portfolios, but also group and classroom portfolios. And so we'll be sharing some of our collections with you, as well as showing you some of the collections that have been shared by others that may benefit you and your students that are tied to education and adult education even more specifically. So our next question that you can answer in the chat then is, how are you currently sharing and collaborating with colleagues and students in the virtual environment? Not well. Chrome bookmarks. Looks like Pinterest for educational, Google Classroom and students, Google Shared Drive, Google Drive, a lot of Google Drive and Google Docs.
It's a Google world.
It is a Google world. We have some Microsoft Teams. And Linda uses some Google and Google Classroom too, so she's gonna, show you kind of how she uses the two together.
Well, I don't do Classroom. My coworker does Classroom.
Right. Oh, that's right. You're using Wakelet. That's
yeah,
right.
I use Wakelet, but I do use some Google within that.
Okay. But the two do link, so it's a great option. Zoom calls.
And yeah, Lori, it can look like Pinterest, but there's a couple of different setups, and we'll show you those in a little bit.
Yeah, you can kind of change the way you want to view. Okay. So within Wakelet, you can invite others to collaborate on your collections, or you can keep them private. If you have a collection that you've organized into a lesson or one that you've created for a specific class, you can keep that collection private and then just share a link or a code with your students. And that way your students can access that collection. If you want to develop a lesson or a collection around a specific subject, you may want to make it public so others can contribute to it by sharing resources or links from their collections to yours. One thing that I really like about Wakelet is that you can share the link or the code with your students so they can contribute to a collection, or they can do, they can do it without signing up. So you do have the option, your students have the options of signing up for a Wakelet account, but sometimes we have students who are resistant to signing up or to having another account. And so the nice thing about Wakelet is they don't have to have an account in order to utilize the platform, in order for you to share and for them to contribute with specific collections within your classrooms. And then collaborate is the fourth piece that we talked about. And did I say collaborate or did I say share? Share. Once you create, I lost my train of thought there. Once you've created your collection, you can choose, again, to keep it private, or you can share it with a small group or a large group of colleagues or students, or you can make it public and you can share it around the world. And there are individuals from all around the world that are on Wakelet, and there are some really great resources and collections that have been created. And we're going to show you some of those, and then also how you can pull those into your collections and save those. So when we go to Wakelet, we'll be looking at those as well as ways that you can make those private or public. And then with Wakelet, you can copy or embed. When we open up Wakelet, we'll show you some of this in the ways that you can make it easy to connect to other platforms, like those of you who've talked about Google Classroom. There's also a direct link with Flipgrid. So if those of you, especially with ESOL, and maybe you're doing some video pieces with Flipgrid, that's another really easy link and easy upload for students to do. You can send notifications to users when you have something of theirs that you want to add to your collection. And so that's part of that export your or part of that notification piece. You can export your collection. So if you want to share your collection with somebody in PDF, you can put everything into a PDF and export it and share that. You can allow others to copy or build on your collection. And this is part of that share piece. And then we'll show you that, how you can make that really easy within the spaces. You can embed your website or blog. So if you have a website or a blog that you're using with your students in your classroom, you can embed that. You can embed videos. And we'll be looking at some of these features again when we go there. We will also be sharing these resources and this PowerPoint with you. And so there are some active links within this PowerPoint that'll be beneficial to you. So again, this is just looking at those 4 steps again: the bookmark, organize, collaborate, and share. And any of these resources here on this slide that are underlined are active links. So if you want to actually see some examples within Wakelet of how they're using it to organize their research or to create research hubs, or the classroom website, this is a really great one with an individual that's really done a great job at setting up their classroom. How they're using it for storytelling and collaborating, how they're using it to submit work or for book reviews. So all of those with underlines are active links that will take you to some of the resources that you can look at and you can explore. So how can you get started with Wakelet? You can sign up for a free account. And so another great thing about Wakelet is it is completely free. And the developers of Wakelet are committed to keeping it as a free platform. They have some individual, some corporate and some private and foundational work or monies that they've used that have helped them to support this platform and to develop it. And so they are committed again to a lifetime of a free platform that can benefit educators across the world and share their resources. So you can download the app, like I said. It's a really great piece to put on your smartphone or your tablet. You can add to your browser. So some of you talked about whatever your favorite browser is. There's actually a Wakelet browser or a Wakelet add-on that you can add to your Chrome browser or your Foxfire or Firefox browser. And so that makes it really easy in that one click from your browser to go right to your Wakelet and add those bookmarks or those resources like I talked about. So again, Wakelet is a free platform. They're committed to remaining free. The staff is really supportive. And so I think, Linda could share this with you too. They're really great about listening to their audience and their followers. So they have lots of events and opportunities for training, and we're going to share some of that. I actually have a Wakelet collection that has all of the different training components for the different types of features within Wakelet. And their staff is continuously doing ongoing updates and improvements. And most of those ongoing updates and improvements are things that are coming from their followers who are saying, I really love this about the collections, but this is something I'd love to see you be able to do. Or have you thought about adding this feature? And so they're really great at listening to the audience and the needs of the teachers and those individuals out there and making those updates. And in my time over the last probably 10 months to a year that I've been on Wakelet, I have seen some huge improvements to the web, to the platform, and the features that they've added have been really great and functional, especially in terms of this COVID-19 and the need for some of these resources. So again, they have great support, and they're continuously providing updates and trainings and information sessions. I will share that they're really big with Twitter. They do a lot of their advertising and their outreach through Twitter. And so most of their information comes out there in terms of receiving notifications for when they're going to be offering new videos or new updates. They like to do a big spread on if there's something new coming to the platform that's exciting for everybody to find out about. And if you would like to join Wakelet, you can join, you can sign up for your account, but there's also opportunities to do more. So you can join their community, is what they call their community. And there's various levels within the community. So you can become a community member, which will give you some access to some other emails and some other resources. Then you can also, the next step is an ambassador. So once you reach a certain point within the platform, you can become an ambassador and share with others, or you can become a community leader. And so when you move up and you do some of those pieces, you have an opportunity for getting swag or being invited to special events for members and for community leaders. I know that I attended one webinar, which was a big kickoff for one of their pieces, and I happened to get a $50 gift certificate to Amazon as one of the winners for sending my tweets out and for participating in the session. So they do a lot of great events like that, and they have some great events for students also. So additionally, we'll show you they have a student ambassador course that you can direct your students to. And it's a way for students to gain digital badges for technology training that they can do right through the Wakelet platform. So that's a nice feature for students. And then if any of you have your smartphones or anything with you right now, you could actually hit that QR code and you'll see that that will take you to some specific resources for teachers. If not, there's also the link right here. And again, we're going to give you a copy of this PowerPoint so you'll have access to this information. And then within the PowerPoint, we also have our contact information. So you can get a hold of Linda or I at any time. And if you have questions or you'd like us to, address some of the questions and things that we've dealt with setting up our wake list or going through it, we'd be happy to help you out with that. And so at this time, I am going to stop sharing the PowerPoint so that we can actually go to the Wakelet platform and we can actually spend some time walking through these features. So Linda, did you want to go to yours first, or?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Hang on here. I have to be able to see first though. All right. So can you guys see that? Are we good, Jody?
Yep, we're getting there. Yep, it's up.
We're good.
Okay. Okay. Well, I didn't want to make an error again today. So, this is, I knew nothing about Wakelet before COVID. I knew Jody had done a session on it in March or April, but like most of you guys, I was just kind of pedaling and like, I'm staying put where I am. and then kind of regrouped over the summertime. I watched her presentation from there, kind of figured out a few things on my own, watched a couple of the their Wakelet webinars. So I am much newer to this, but it has been relatively easy to figure out. And I'll let Jody talk a little more about the profile. So I do have a general profile picture. And what you're seeing on the screen this is my personal Wakelet, okay? And you can see I have some different topics. If I can get it to you. My hamsters, I guess, are running slow here in Warren County. Hang on. This is my tech glitch for the day, right? So I inadvertently clicked on the first one here. This is one that I had just created here about gardening. And I have some canna lilies and I'm like, okay, so what am I really supposed to be doing with them? So I just started one of these the other day, literally. Then all I did to create a new collection with this is I'm going to create a new collection. I don't know what's going on with my internet, Jody. Hang on here. There we go.
Okay.
It's running slow today. And I would create a title for it. So if I just did this for today, you can put a little bit more, and I'll show you where I'm using it on the school side a little bit more. I'm just going to type in stuff here. And I am a big person. I don't like to just look at a white image. I want to see a picture of something. And this is where you have a couple of different options. You can upload from their library, and their library is absolutely amazing. You know, this is just going to pop up. Jody, or Jessica, you're not muted. Give me a topic. Just give me a noun, something.
Dogs.
Dogs, all right. So you can put in, and I've done this with my students. You can see there's a whole lot of them. And one of my students, he's like, well, I like pit bulls, but I doubt that they have any. And he's like, oh, I said, well, let's see, because I hadn't checked. And yes, in fact, they do have pit bulls, but we're going to just choose this one for today. And we're going to put it there. So there's a shout out to Adrian with her corgis and that. I have uploaded some of my own photos as well. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to click the done button. Much like Google, it saves everything automatically. But you want to tell it that you are all done at the end. It shows that I have created it. I have nothing in there. If I didn't like it, I could go back in, hit edit the collection, and I could change that photograph. Okay. If we were going to, and Jody, are you going to have them collaborate on yours, or?
I can either way.
Okay.
I mean, yep.
We'll do that, but I'll just
Okay.
kind of, you know, I'll at least show there's an invite button, and here's the link Jody was talking about, a QR code, or even just a copy code. But we will come, you know, we'll come back to that where you guys will get that opportunity to do that. So if I hit my little Wakelet button over here, and like I said, so that you can see it's added here, you can rearrange those as well. And you can sort those in the order that they were created. You know, when did I last update them? Do I want them alphabetized A to Z? So you do have that. And to the point of, let me go down to this one. This is one of my collections that is not private. I'm sharing it with one of my coworkers because we were both stuck in that. Oh, you know, what do we make for dinner? The background picture is one of mine. This is the front one is one from theirs. And yes, I have arranged it somewhat like Pinterest. Okay. There's not a real rhyme or reason with this. It's just like, well, this one's a little more fun. So I've chosen that. I can go in and I can edit this collection. I figured out part of my tech glitch. So, and I can change my layout. So if I come over here, I could make it, I have it as a mood board right here. If I wanted to do a compact view, we'll look at it. It's going to set it up and it's going to be a list. Okay, so you do have these options to just kind of, oh, okay, well, what does grid look like? So, and then you also have an easy, you know, I can easily reorder it. You know, I have that turned off. So I could really cram a lot in there in this type of a setting. So it's not taking up so much, like, oh my gosh, I've got to scroll. And then if I wanted to, you know, invite you guys, I could just send you that link and away you go. So, but you're like, yeah, that's great, but let's go in and I had to hit my done button, sorry. And up here in that left or in the right, it shows that it is public. So how I am using it as a teacher. I'm looking at this and I'm like, well, this is great, but I need my student work. I need to see what they are doing. If they want to show me things, sending things through email gets to be, in my opinion, really cumbersome, at least for me. My coworker, she uses Google Classroom. She loves it. I'm not against it. I just hadn't taken the time to learn it at that point. So I'm like, well, let's try out Wakelet. And then I just haven't looked back. So they have another spot that is called Spaces. And I can, if you look on the left-hand side here, I have 3 classes over here and I've named them. I have my afternoon ADP, I have a customer service class, and then I have an evening ADP. So if I use my customer service class, and this is what I do with my ESOL students that are doing that. And you can see here, it looks kind of the same. I still have all of these collections. These are, with the exception of the customer service class, these are all their student, what I'm calling their student portfolios. Okay. For privacy, what I have done, because originally I wasn't 100% certain. I'm like, well, not everybody wants to know everybody to know their last name. So I just put their first name, last letter. I come to find out once the students, I share a link with them. So if I look at this gals and she knows I'm using it, I will send her a link, and we connected. We actually remembered, and I had her choose, okay, what kind of a cover do you want on it? I sent her, when we did our intake, and we did do our intakes in person, I walked through how to use Wakelet. My ESOL group, they all grabbed the QR code with their phones. And I said, hang on to, because I was doing theirs right then and there, but I send an email to them with their class link as well as their individual one. So they would get this. They have it in both places. They can contribute to it, but nobody else sees it. So when Aloe logs in to share her information with me, she doesn't see anybody else's. So it really doesn't matter that, they have the first or the last name. This is a doc that's still in progress, where we have their kind of like their individual learning plan that we've put together in Google Drive. And honestly, at this point, I am sharing the most of it, but where I have the different benchmarks, the dates that we have done some of them we haven't gotten to yet. But she has permission, so she could jump in and put the dates on there. I'm also using teacher verification model because the students have the workbook and we discuss a lot of it. And, you know, in March, I didn't worry about it so much, but for this, I wanted to know, or wanted to get those hours so we can get them to 40. So they are posting exercises, and I'll show you where they're getting that. But I thought while I'm in this space, I'll show you what she has done. And can you guys see that still?
Yes.
Okay. So I allow them to just snap a photo, and I'll show you how they're doing this. But this is her work from one of the exercises in the books. So she has put a lot of time into this. Some of it is not grammatically correct. I can go in, I can edit things. I have put it onto Google, you know, so that I can do some editing. I can give them some direct feedback as well. So what they do is, again, here's the edit collection button. You know, they put the pen there. We know that's kind of that universal share option. Hang on. And so what she wants to do, if I wanted to upload a photo, I can go and I hit this plus button right here. And if I am going to upload an image, I can pull one. So I'm just going to, I had one on my desktop. We will just put in real quick. We'll just do this. And once the internet cooperates, it will be there. Okay, so I have had students in both sides. Where did it go? Of course, there it is. Okay, so this was a picture that I had sent to some students. You know, this is where we need you to come in, but it's literally, and you can do it from the phone. They have the link, they hit that upload button, and it is right there. Students have done this with homework. They will write theirs, you know, take a picture of it, because they're like, I don't know how to upload this thing. I'm not sure. So I said, then just snap a picture of it and send it to me. And they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. So I have had handwritten items turned into me. Nobody has been brave enough to do Flipgrid yet, but I was thinking I need to give them an assignment based with that. And real quickly, I'll show you how I am using it. You know, so if a student isn't in class, because we have that, you know, with my ESOL, they come to class, the majority of them regularly. Other classes, not always, but, and I forgot I did not update this yesterday, but I do have a picture while it is loading there. But this was one that we just did earlier this week. We were doing some vocabulary, and all I did is I went to edit collection. I typed it directly in. I haven't given them access to this because I am using this primarily as my class syllabus, and I don't want somebody to mess it up for me. But I hit that, I hit my plus button, and I could just add text and I could start typing just like that. I have some of those functions where I could make it bold. If I needed to add something to this little block right here, I just hit my little button and I can, oh, okay, oops, forgot this. Okay, and then I can go down to the bottom. This was a lengthy one on some vocabulary that we were doing. We can do that. I've kept it in the easy reader mode, so it is nice and spacious. I've also kept my layout so I'm putting the most recent on top so they know, oh, okay, this is what I need to grab. I have had some students, we will do an everyday edit. So I will post it ahead of time. Oh, I sometimes forget this. I'm like, oh, I want to open that. I have to make sure I am done editing. So if you're like, wait, I can't see this, I have to stop that editing button. I've put Quizlet links on here so that they can go in. I've used that text. I want to just add text. I have learned that takes up less space. So I will copy and put a link in just like this. However, if I need, if it's more of a PDF, this was actually a student, her presentation on Roosevelt, on President Roosevelt. This was an assignment that she did. She posted it into her individual Wakelet, and then I posted it into the common one so that people could go back in and look at it. So I have a lot of documentation, and I have the proof that they have done that. So, did I cover pretty much everything, Jody, with that part?
Yeah, and unless you want to show Immersive Reader, and if not, I can show that in mine too. Have you talked about that feature?
Yeah, there is, if you'll notice, you have these little icons over here. That's an Immersive Reader. If you click on that, and I noticed, Jody, they've updated, they have a beta part that they are adding in, and this is really great for ESOL. I don't know that maybe with my sound, because I didn't check that part, but I can.
Welcome.
It'll read it one by one. You can also do it where it will read the whole sentence, and I can let Jody do that part of it. So they can hear that pronunciation. Especially these were some words like rapport. They're like, what is it? Once they hear it, sometimes then they do know that. It's telling you how many times it has been viewed. And at first we were kind of figuring that out, and they were like, on my portfolio, it says it's been viewed so many times, and it's every time somebody goes in to look at it, whether they go in to add something, I go in to look at it, then it is there. I've made some of comments of what they have done directly to their portfolio. I have had my, just real quick, my evening ADP class. I do things a little bit differently, but it's as far as with that, I record my Zoom recording so that they can go back and they can catch that. I've posted homework for them to do. They can watch that, and then a couple YouTube videos to go along with that. So, here's what we have done. I post my link to there. And I accidentally, my mouse pad is sensitive. Because I clicked on that part, but then I had the PDF there for them ready to go through it. So that is Spaces, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And they get to personalize it, even if they don't want to. No, I don't make them all do it. So.
Any questions before we move on and show you some more? And you should be able to unmute, or you could put a question in the chat also.
Hi, it'd be easier for me just to talk.
Okay, great.
I understand that, Lori.
Yeah, I turned my camera on. Created a Wakelet while you were talking, and started with the explore button to look what's out there. And I like this, I like that, I like this, like that. It puts it in your bookmarks, and then
Yes.
if you want to create a collection, you have to create collection, name it, and then stick some of your bookmarks in it. And then obviously you can start adding your own content. But if you're just trying to make my page look like your page, and then, that's what I discovered, is that you start with bookmarking other people's stuff and then adding to it. But where was Spaces? Because I'm not seeing that.
If you have so you'll have kind of your profile. Do you see like,
Yeah,
okay. And
I
there's
do.
a plus button right underneath
Got
that.
it.
So
Yep.
if you click on that, so this will create a space within, because I am in my evening ADP class. And as you were talking, I just realized that I hadn't covered that. So it is going to wherever, or I should say right here, I've just created a whole new space just called Lori. Okay. So I could, if you have a class, you would call it that class, and then you can add different collections within there.
Got it. I'm doing it now. Okay. So I'm going to make my
it's that easy.
and then I can link things together. Yeah.
Yes.
Just one step I needed.
Yep. One step at a time.
Exactly. This is pretty cool. Thank you.
Anything else?
Okay. Linda, I'm going to request to share then. Let's see if we can go back over to mine really quick. No, you're good. You're good. Okay, can you see mine there?
Yep.
Coming in. Okay. So this is my public profile. And so I have it set up with, and I've, put things in my profile here to show that I'm in adult education and professional development. I can edit my profile. This is what you see there. I can change my image at any time. I can add a bio. You'll see that I have done a few things here where I have added in some headings. So I've broke mine up into sections, as they call them. And so I created an instructional tech, a diversity and inclusion section, a career pathways, and an aspire. I can also add new sections if I'd like to. So I'm going to cancel that right now. So underneath each of my sections, you'll see that I have collections that fall in those categories. So in instructional tech, I have one that's specific that has over 50 items just for adult education. I have ones I've pulled in from other individuals, tools for teachers, create and share your learning design. Great piece here with all the Microsoft pieces and how it works within Wakelet. And then here's another specific collection I pulled out from someone else. They did some nice work with adult education specifically. I have everything Wakelet here that has all the information about Wakelet. Let's see if that one comes up here. So as I talked about earlier about some of the pieces of Wakelet, this has a collection, and this is, so the things that you can see are items that are public, so other individuals can see and can pull those or can add to them. So resources on Wakelet presentations, information on being community member, community leader. I have a lot of my certificates here for the different sessions and trainings that I've completed with Wakelet. This is one of the new features is the Spaces feature that Linda just showed you. So this was the webinar on that and how to use Wakelet. Great thing with Wakelet and using it with differentiation in the classroom. Another piece that I think is really great for adult education. And then just some of the resource guides. So in addition to the webinars and the informational sessions they have out there, they have a lot of really great resource guides that you can use. And so sometimes I go back to that if I want to think about how I want to reorganize or do something. And then information again on that student ambassador program within that collection. So I can hit my profile picture and I can go back to that profile piece, that public piece. Or I can hit home, or as you saw, Linda hit the Wakelet button. And this kind of shows you my full picture of my Wakelet. So you will see, like Linda, I have several spaces over here on the side. You'll see that I currently have 12 collections, almost 300 bookmarks. And then I have 4 group collections that have other collaborators on it. I'm currently following 14 other individuals and have 9 people who are following me within the Wakelet. But so this is the broader picture of all of my collections. And again, this is unorganized, or this is just everything in general. You can tell here that if it is set as a private with the lock, or if it's public, something that other individuals can view and can add to. And then, so I'm going to go over here to my first space. Well, I'm going to go to bookmark first. So I'm going to show you one thing. I told you I really use the bookmark feature a lot, which is why I have almost 300 bookmarks. So anytime I'm somewhere and there's a bookmark or something that I want to save, a tweet, a social media post, anything, I quickly pull that link and I put it into here in the add a link. And then in this feature, what I can do is I have an implementation plan template here. So I just quickly didn't want to lose that link, but maybe I haven't put it into a collection yet. So if I go down here, I can select that bookmark and go there, or you can see the ribbon here, I can add it to a collection. So if this implementation plan specifically goes into one of my other pieces, say I want that for my sample student portfolio, I can click on that and then I can save it to the collection and I can easily add that bookmark. That way I now have that in there when I go. So that's one great feature there. And then I'm going to go back over here to my spaces. So again, this is my general space that has all my information listed in all of my collections. But then I have one that's a personal, like Linda showed you. So you'll see here, I had a collection for the baby shower, for my new grandbaby. I have my personal portfolio. So this is where I keep all of my training pieces, my certificates and information for myself. And then here's some of the webinars and online PD that I've completed, and I keep my information there. So it's just this personal space. Everything you'll see here is private. So here I've created a space for my professional organizations. And so some of these are private and some of these are open. So this just has some of those organizations and resources. The advocacy piece you'll see is open, as well as the OACE item that I've created. And those are open so that people can add to those collections. I want to quickly go to the OACE one and show you. So I created this space specifically for the OACE conference. You'll see it's called OACE Conference Collaboration Session. And so as Linda showed you earlier, we can create a new collection there. And so again, I can add a cover, I can upload an image, or I can choose from the library. If I upload it, I can upload it right from my desktop, or I can choose any topic like Linda said, shared. I'm just going to quickly, for time, I'm going to add that one in there. You can also do background pictures, and that's from up here in your settings piece. So if you see appearance, I can add a background image. I've done a lot of these with GIFs so that they're active, and so they're really cool. I'll show you that in a couple of my collections. But again, so here I can add a background picture. So now I've really customized it right. I've put a background picture as well. I can enter my title. And then I can put a description in if I want to. Something that just describes. And then I can add work. Now, in this case, it's currently private. So I'm going to go up here to the top right-hand corner. I'm going to make this public. So it's open. And then I'm going to go to the invite in the top left-hand corner. And as you can see here, then you should see the QR code. I'm going to copy the code. I'm going to put that into our chat window. I'm also going to copy the link. And I'm going to put that into our chat window. Now, all of you that are in this session, you should be able to click on either one of those. You should either go to Wakelet and put in that code, or you should be able to click on that link, or you should be able to use your QR reader. So if you have your smartphone, I know many of you are on your computers, so you don't want to leave the session maybe to go here on your own. But if you're on your smartphone, you can quickly take something from there and you can start adding to this collection. So even in real time, as we're going through this presentation, if there's something you want to add, if you want to just practice, again, you can just type. You can go here and add text. And so if you just want to try and add, a text piece, feel free to do that. Or if you want to post a URL to your own website or to something that you like, or a resource that you want to share with somebody in this group, or a YouTube video, you can do chat. You can add your own bookmark here. If there's an image that you have on your phone or somewhere, you can upload that, or a PDF. And you can go to your Google Drive and find a resource there and bring that over and share it. Video, again, will link you right to Flipgrid. And so I have a Flipgrid account. If you don't, you can sign up for one, and then it'll tell me, I want to continue as Jody Angelone. It'll take me there. The Flipgrid will come up. It'll let me record my video, and then it just adds it right into that collection. And I will show you one of my collections that I've done a quick Flipgrid. So feel free as we're going through, if you want to add to that collection, and then before the end of the presentation, we can go back and we can look at this and see what you guys have added. So I'll just show you a couple of these. The diversity and inclusion piece is a public piece, so I'll show you that. That's one where I've added the background, and you see I've made it a GIF, so it's an interactive background. It's not just a stagnant picture. And I have all of my resources here. And so again, my current format, you can see, is very Pinterest-like. I have links to other Wakelets that other individuals have created with equity, and I have some presentations, I have papers, resource websites. So there's information here in articles, books, there's things connected to curriculum and how to use diversity and inclusion in the adult education classroom. So just a wealth of things. So while you're here, this is a public one. So again, I can invite you guys to come into this, or you can go to my public thing, my public Wakelet, and you can see that. I can share this out with anybody individually. If somebody just wants to have a link, I can share that and send that to you. I can send this out on any of my social media. So if I just want to share this collection with individuals, I can go ahead and share it on my Twitter account or on my Facebook account. I can share it in my Google Classroom so that my students would have full access to this collection by just going to that link from the classroom. Instructional Technology is another one. I have over 50 resources there. So since the beginning of the pandemic, I have been collecting resources through various trainings and various webinars, and resources that have come in that are more specific to adult education to find ways to collect information that could be helpful for adult educators. So this just has a ton of information here, again, with different platforms. So some of the information came from some of the webinars that have been done by the PDN, but also by some of the teachers from Teacher Resource, teacher office hours. So if they've shared websites or different platforms that work well for them in the classroom, I've added those. So you'll see a lot of resources here for grammar, for math, some different resources in terms of platforms that you can use. Cindy Huggett is a great person for inspiration and for information on setting up your online classrooms, and she's got a lot of history with working in the online environment. So lots of resources here that is an open resource collection. Okay, is there anything, we're coming kind of towards the close, is there anything specific that anyone would like to see shared or see again or see a function? Oh, I did want to show you, so I will show you, I'm going to go back to my portfolio because I do want to show you a little more in depth with that immersive reader piece. Okay.
And then there are a couple questions at the end, Jody.
Okay, you can go ahead and, as I'm pulling this up, you can go ahead. Are the questions ones that we can address?
More so than you, there was a question, how do you find someone's collection? And somebody wanted to know, how can you find your open resource collection? So
okay,
we'll table those for a minute.
Okay. So right now I'm in a piece that I created specifically like into a lesson piece. And so you'll see this was a lesson on Hiroshima and World War II. And so there's a little written piece here that just kind of talks about the contents of the atomic bomb, the end of World War II. It has lessons, videos, quizzes, and assignments. That's what you can find within this collection. So you can see here at the beginning for the students, I did a little intro. This is my Flipgrid video. And so I did a quick video just to introduce individuals. Okay, so that's another way that you can introduce a unit for your students. And then I have an assignment that is connected to Google. And so with that, you'll see that with that assignment is this immersive reader option. Oh, maybe it's not gonna. Okay, so that assignment piece comes up here. There are different assignment options. And so again, I can hit, oops, it took me out of, sorry. Let's go on to this other one. I can find that one and show you. Okay. So here's my immersive reader. So again, if I click on this, I have several options. You'll see that it highlights the thing, and I can have, so I can do the audio as Linda showed you. So it reads it and it highlights as it goes. In that, you can change the speed. So if that's too quick, you can slow the speed down so that it reads a little bit slower for the student, or you can speed it up. You can change the voice from female to male. So you have a lot of, you have those preferences there. Additionally, so some of our students, again, with those learning disabilities, it has the option of changing the text size. I can make the text size bigger, or I can make the text size smaller. I can increase the spacing in between the text. I can change the text itself into different fonts. There's a few font choices. And then again, for those individuals who sometimes have issues in terms of disabilities with their sight, there's ways of changing. I can change the color of the background that works for them. There's additional colors here that you can add. I can do so they can find the color that works best for them. And then you can also change their reading preferences. So they can go, so that it's drawn out more with the smaller lines and go line by line. So it really helps them to focus all the way down to one line, or they can see the full document. So the other nice option here, so for beginning ESL students, They can translate it into other languages. So if some of your students, are lower level and having difficulty, you'll see, I think they said something like 88 or something like that, languages that they now have available for translation. And again, so they can do it by Word or document. So that's just a really nice added feature for your students. Okay, so what were the questions again, Linda?
How can you find someone else's collection? Can you just search on Wakelet?
You can search on Wakelet. And so you can put in somebody's name, or if you know their, I'm gonna go back to my profile. You'll see that I'm at Jody Angelone 7869. So if you know somebody's profile information, you can look for that, or you can look for them by name.
And while we're there, how would somebody find your open resource collection? Because that one's public, correct?
Right. So if you go to the public, these are the items that you should see and have access to. And
then someone could just follow you, correct?
Yep. The other option is if there's something, if you have a QR code right now, you can hit that. I can share my profile. Again, here is the link. So if I want to, because of doing this presentation, Linda can do the same with hers. She can share her profile, and that would take you to her collection so you can see some of what she has done.
And then I just wanted to make sure I answered correctly, because you're the master, I'm not. So if it's public, they can view it, but they cannot add to what's in there unless they have the invite. Would that be correct?
Right. So there are, let's go. So there are some that they can add to. So it depends. There are 3 levels. So you can change the visibility. So you see there's 3 levels of visibility. So there's public, everyone can see the collection. There's unlisted, only people with the link can see the collection. There's private. So that's the one piece. So if it's public, you have all that. And then for contributing, I gotta go back over here. I guess I didn't show that, did we? Oops. That's what I wanted. I had this all up last night.
But you can, yeah, as Jody's finding it, you can limit what a contributor can do, that they can add stuff in, or they, there are different settings within the collection, within Spaces. So.
Okay, edit. Okay, here we go. So once I'm in the collection, I hit edit. You can see I can change the appearance. I can change the sharing and the collaboration. So right now, others can make and duplicate my collection. So they can do that, but they can't do anything else. So collaborators, though, I can turn that function on, and then they can edit within. So you have full control. So you can share it where others can take it, duplicate it, put it onto their site and use it, but they can't make any changes. That's just the sharing function. But within the collaboration piece, I can let others add to it, make changes, so, delete items. So you need to be aware that if you have that, if you open up that collaboration piece, they can do edits and deletes from the collection. So that's one where you might want to, you might have a shared collection where they have all those options if it's a student portfolio, because you might want to work together on the items that they add or delete. You might want to use it with your colleagues. So maybe you have different things that you're working on together in terms of lessons or classroom pieces. That's a place where the collaboration might be open, because it's somebody, that they're not going to delete things, that are important without talking to you, I think, first. So that's the thing to think about. Yeah. So sharing allows people to have access and to duplicate it. where collaboration gives them the option of editing, adding, deleting. And this is also then where you can, if you're done with the collection, if you just had it there for a temporary time, like you saw my one in the private that was a baby shower. The baby shower is over. I don't need that information anymore. I can go back in and delete that then. So that's your settings feature, but you have to be in the edit mode within a collection in order for that settings piece to come up.
But I will say, you know, because I am definitely newer at it, but it's pretty intuitive. So.
And there's a lot of great resources.
Yes.
So I think we're a few minutes past our time, but if there's any other questions, I'll stay on for a few minutes and answer those. Otherwise, thank you for attending. Oh, and I do want to put, I do want to remind everybody that there is an exit ticket. And you can get through that exit ticket through the agenda, or I'm going to put the link to that exit ticket in the chat also, and you can exit, or you can do it there.
Anna, to your question, no, you are not alerted. What kind of happened to me, ESOL, my customer service, I was checking it regularly because they do their assignments regularly, was kind of behind with my adult diploma. They've all of a sudden started adding. So I'm just going to kind of pick a day that each week that, okay, this is the day I'm going to go through and check it. But you can see when they have added. And like what I'm doing is I'm typing comments in there. So I kind of know, okay, this is where I last was with that student. So no, you don't get an alert that way.
Well, I was trying to pull the exit ticket in from the share that Adrienne gave me, but it's.
Well, thank you guys for coming. If you have questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. I know I picked Jody's brain a couple of times. And Jody did get the link in the chat.
I did.